Children, a preposition is a word or a set of words that indicates location with other words like in, near, beside, on top of, or some other relationship between a noun or pronoun and other parts of the sentence, like about, after, besides, instead of, in accordance with, and so on. You need to remember that a preposition is not a preposition unless it goes with a related noun or pronoun, which is called the object of the preposition. Here in the chart, you can see the little mouse who is traveling all over. Please go through this. So very basically, a preposition shows the relationship of a noun or a pronoun with another word or a sentence. It tells us if the words are related to each other with the help of direction, a purpose, a time, or a place. Prepositions are usually placed before a noun or a pronoun. In certain cases, they may be placed afterwards. They help us answer questions like where, how, when, and so on. There is a fox in the forest is your first example. So the word in shows a relation between the fox and the forest. With this sentence, you can get a clear idea of a fox sitting maybe under the shade of a tree in a forest. But if I substitute the word in by outside, then you can again imagine the fox sitting outside the forest. Right? So this word here, in, outside, these two words are prepositions. You can use a preposition of your choice, but you need to remember that will change the meaning of the sentence. Now, in the next example, he is fond of tea. Here, we have the adjective fond. All right? That is a feeling, a describing word. And what does he like? He likes tea. So he is fond of tea. So of here is the preposition that joins the adjective fond to the object tea. The dog jumped off the bed. The dog was fast asleep on the bed. It heard someone calling its name and it jumped off the bed. All right? So the action jumped, that is a verb, right? And the bed is the object. So when the dog jumps off the bed, then we can imagine this happening. If we say the dog jumped into the pool, then you can imagine a dog diving into a pool. All right. So in this manner, children, we can use the prepositions, and with how the prepositions are put in a sentence, the meaning of the sentence changes. You can also go through this chart to find out prepositions and how exactly they affect a sentence. Prepositions can be simple, can be made by adding a preposition to a noun, adjective, or adverb, or they can be used like phrases. Simple prepositions you already know: in, out, on, till, up, down, with, from, for, etc. Then we can add a preposition to a noun, adjective, or adverb: before, without, within, outside, inside, between, and so on. And sometimes we can add the preposition to other words, okay, with 2 or 3 other words, and we can use them as a phrase. Remember, a phrase is that part of a sentence which can be used, but it does not give complete meaning, right? We have phrases and clauses which make up a sentence. A clause is that part of a sentence which can stand by itself and you can understand it thoroughly without having to add some other words. But a phrase, on the other hand, needs the support of other words. All right? So with reference to what? In order to what? By means of what? So you do not know. It needs the support of the remaining part of the sentence. these kinds of words are called phrases. So prepositions can be like phrases too. This chart here shows some commonly used prepositions. Please go through this chart. These are the words or prepositions that you use very, very frequently. Okay, now here we have the object of the preposition. In the previous slide also, when I was speaking, I told you a certain word is an object. But what is an object? The object of a preposition is the noun or the pronoun which is used with the preposition. And these words, these nouns or pronouns, complete the meaning of the preposition. We drove our car to the market. Our is the direct object. Alright? Then comes the preposition to the market. So where did we go? We went to the market. So the market is the object of the preposition. Alright? It is completing the meaning of the sentence. We drove our car. Alright? So where did we drive our car? We drove our car to the market. It completes the meaning of our sentence. It completes the use and meaning of this preposition. Prepositions express certain meanings. Alright? In this topic, in this subtopic that we are doing on prepositions, we are going to learn about 3 relations of prepositions: the prepositions of time, the prepositions of place, location or position, and the preposition of direction or movement. So basically, children, prepositions of time are prepositions that allow you to discuss a specific time period, such as a date on a calendar, one of the days of the week, or the actual time something takes place. Words like at, on, by, for, since, past tell us when a specific action took place, when something happened. It answers the question when. Prepositions of time are the same words as prepositions of place and to a certain extent the preposition of direction, but they are used in a different way. So in order to distinguish between the prepositions of place, time and direction, you always need to read the entire sentence, and therefore after reading the entire sentence you will be able to discover whether a preposition is that of time, place or direction. You can easily distinguish these prepositions as they always discuss time rather than places. Now look at the first example. The incident happened at 2 o'clock. At here signifies a precise time. You cannot say at afternoon. That would be wrong. Alright, the incident happened at 2 o'clock. It's a precise time. I met my friend in the afternoon. So when did I meet my friend? At a specific time, that is in the afternoon. The results will arrive on Tuesday for days and dates. You cannot say the results will arrive on 2 o'clock. Alright, that would be grammatically wrong. On is used for days and dates. The word past indicates how much time has passed. So it was past her bedtime when she returned, indicates that her bedtime has already crossed. Okay, she was supposed to have slept at 9 o'clock, it's already 10. So in this way we can utilize the prepositions of time. You can just go through this chart at your leisure, and here you'll be able to understand what are the prepositions of time and how each one of them is used in a sentence as well as the meaning of each one of them. Next, we have the prepositions of place. They are also called the prepositions of location or position. So these prepositions of place, children, describe the position of a person or thing in relation to another person or thing. Words like under, across, on, between, into, towards tell us about the position of the first noun in relation to the second noun. That means the position of one person or thing in relation to the second or another person or thing. And the prepositions of place, position or location always answers the question where. A question is asked to you, where did you stay when you went to Kerala? So you have to here tell a specific place. I stayed at Fort Manor when I went to Kerala. It's a specific place. When we are describing an enclosed space, we live in Gangtok. So where do we live? In Gangtok. These paintings are on the table or for a particular surface. You have to be over 18 to vote. So here also it tells us that we have to be more than a certain age to vote. So in places like these, we use the prepositions of place. So here in this picture too, we have certain prepositions of place. Please go through this chart. Lastly, we come to the prepositions of direction or movement. These prepositions of direction or movement are used to show movement from one place to another. These prepositions are most often used with verbs of motion and are found after the verb. Right? So by that, look at the first sentence. He threw the stone across the river. So throwing is an action. It is a verb. All right. It is a verb in motion. He threw the stone. Where? Across the river. The army charged. That does not mean they plugged themselves into a charging point. The army ran towards the enemy. That is an action word. Tom jogged along the road. So a person is there, Tom, and he is running along the road. That means he did not cross the road, but he ran along the length of the road. The bird flew over the trees. So the action that the bird is doing is flying. All right? And it went from one open space to another side of an open space. So the bird flew over the trees. Just go through this chart also. This explains to you how exactly is the action when we are talking about the prepositions of movement. So that brings us to the end of the first part of prepositions. One more video will be coming up. Please go through the video, go through the lesson, and if you have any doubts, you are always free to contact me. Thank you.